So you found black spot in your rose garden,
Uh-huh.
and you want to get rid of it,
Hmm.
but maybe not with, the harsh chemicals.
Right.
Let's explore how to fix this organically.
Yeah, the natural solutions are pretty effective, honestly. First, what is black spot?
Yeah, what is it and what does it even do?
So it's a fungus,
Okay.
Diplocarpon rosae, if you want to get technical.
Fancy.
But the important thing is this. It messes with photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis, that's how plants make food.
Right.
From sunlight.
Exactly. The black spots interrupt that whole process.
Oh, I see. So it's not just that they look bad.
No, not just that. It's like if you ripped out every other page of a book, you just can't get the full story.
And the plant can't get, the full meal.
Right. It weakens the whole plant over time.
So how's it spread? Does the fungus, bite the leaves?
No, no biting. It's the spores. They're like tiny little, almost like seeds. They travel in the wind and water, land on a leaf, and boom, they start growing.
So that's why people are always talking about air circulation.
You got it. Wet leaves equal fungus party, especially if you're watering from overhead.
Makes sense. But what about when it rains? Can't exactly stop that.
You can't know. But get this, you can use milk.
Milk? Like from the store?
Yep. Just dilute it and it's a natural fungicide.
Seriously, how does that even work?
Milk has these proteins, lactoferrin and lactoperoxidase. They're naturally antimicrobial.
So they're like little bodyguards keeping the bad stuff off the leaves.
That's a great way to put it. They make a shield the spores can't get through.
Wild. Never would have thought of milk as a gardening tool.
You'd be surprised.
So what's the recipe?
Super easy. 1 part milk, 2 parts water. Put it in a spray bottle.
Simple enough. How often do you spray?
Once a week is good for prevention,
Okay.
and early morning is the best time to do it. Gives the leaves time to dry before evening.
Makes sense. Early bird gets the fungus-free roses, right?
You got it. But what if you already have black spot? We'll get to that next.
So we stopped right before you were going to tell us how to fight existing black spot. What about when those spots are already there?
Okay, well, we talked about spores spreading in the wind and water, right?
Right.
Got to think about where those spores end up. Infected leaves on the ground, that's just asking for trouble.
So keep things clean.
Exactly. Get those leaves out of there. And don't even think about putting them in your compost unless it gets seriously hot. You'll just end up with more spores.
Yikes. Good point. What about pruning? Does that help?
Pruning is huge. It's not just about making your roses look good, it's about airflow.
Right. Keep those leaves dry.
You got it. When you prune, try to make kind of a vase shape, open in the middle, lets the air flow through.
So the leaves dry faster. Any special pruning techniques?
Yeah, when you're cutting out disease canes, go a few inches below the infection. And, this is important, clean your tools. Like, really clean them. Every single cut.
Wow. Okay. I admit I haven't always been the best about that.
It's like using the same tissue over and over again. You're just going to spread the germs, use a bleach solution, keeps things clean.
Got it. So we've got clean pruning, keeping things spaced out. Anything else?
Speaking of spicing, that's another big one. Don't crowd your roses. They need room to breathe.
Like how much space are we talking?
At least 3 feet apart. I know it seems like a lot.
It does.
But trust me, your roses will be happier in the long run. Less chance of the fungus spreading.
Makes sense. Okay, we've covered a lot. Anything else we could do on the prevention front?
Well, you can choose roses that are naturally resistant to black spot.
Oh, right. Like some roses are just tougher than others.
Exactly. Now, no rose is completely immune, but some are way better at fighting it off.
Okay, so they might get a spot or two, but they won't totally freak out.
Right. One group to look for is the knockouty roses. Super low maintenance, tons of flowers, and very resistant.
I've heard of those. Why are they so tough?
They come from really strong parents, basically. Like their parent roses were both disease resistant.
So it's in their genes.
Yep. Plus, they grow in a way that naturally helps with airflow, so the spores don't really stand a chance.
Wow, those roses came prepared.
They did, but they're not the only ones. If you like the classic look, David Austin roses are good too.
The English ones.
Yeah, those ones. Look for Graham Thomas. It's got bright yellow flowers. And Gertrude Jekyll has an amazing scent.
Nice. So many good options.
There are. And don't be afraid to ask for recommendations at your local nursery. They'll know what grows well in your area.
Good call. So we've covered sanitation, pruning, spacing, and choosing the right roses. That's a lot.
It is. But there's even more we can do to help our roses thrive. It's about more than just preventing disease.
Oh, like what?
Well, next we're diving into the world of soil.
Getting our hands dirty, I'm in.
That's the spirit. We'll talk about how to create the perfect environment for your roses to really take root and flourish.
Okay, so we're talking about soil. What makes it so important for fighting black spot?
It's not just about fighting disease, it's about overall plant health. Strong plants are way better at resisting problems.
Right, like building up our immune system.
Exactly. And good soil is full of the nutrients roses need to thrive.
So where do we start?
Compost. It's like magic for your soil.
We talked about compost tea, but you mean actually putting it in the ground.
Yep. Mix it right into your rose beds, improves the soil texture, helps with drainage, and adds a ton of nutrients.
It's like a superfood boost for the soil.
Think of it as a gourmet buffet for your roses.
I like the way that sounds. Are there any other soil additions we should be thinking about?
Have you heard of mycorrhizal fungi?
Mycorrhizal fungi. Not really. Tell me more.
So these fungi, they actually team up with the roots of your roses. It's like a win-win situation.
How so?
The fungi help the roots access water and nutrients more effectively. They're like little helpers, expanding the root system's reach.
So it's like giving your roses an even bigger network to pull from.
Exactly. They get more of what they need, and they're more resilient overall. You can buy this stuff at the garden center. It's called mycorrhizal inoculant.
Okay, adding that to my list.
Yeah.
Anything else?
One more thing. Seaweed. Well, seaweed extract.
Like what you'd use in sushi.
Not exactly the same stuff, but yeah, it comes from seaweed. It's a total powerhouse of nutrients and good stuff for plants.
Okay, I'm convinced. Compost, mycorrhizal fungi, and seaweed extract. My roses are going to be living the good life.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
You know, we can actually take things a step further these days.
How so? More secret ingredients.
This one involves technology.
Technology. In the garden.
Yeah. There's this company, Farminaut. They're doing some really cool stuff with satellites.
Hold on. Satellites. Like in space.
Yep. They use satellites to monitor plant health. It's pretty amazing.
I'm officially lost. How do satellites help with roses?
Think of it like this. The satellites can actually tell if a plant is stressed even before you can see it.
Really?
They use this thing called spectral analysis. Basically, they look at the light reflecting off the plants. And different colors mean different things about the plant's health.
Wow, so it's like having a high-tech eye in the sky checking on your roses.
Exactly. And they have an app, so you can see all this information on your phone.
An app. Of course, there's an app. What does the app do?
It takes all that satellite data, combines it with other info like weather forecasts and stuff, and gives you personalized recommendations for your garden.
So it's like having a personal gardening assistant, but powered by space technology.
Exactly. And speaking of weather, they have something called the Weather API. Gives you super accurate forecasts, so you know a best time to water, apply treatments, all that stuff.
Wow. We've gone from milk and baking soda to satellites.
It's amazing how much there is to learn, right? But at the end of the day, it's about enjoying the process.
Yeah, getting outside, connecting with nature.
Exactly. And remember, don't forget to slow down and enjoy those beautiful roses.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for all the great tips today. I think our listeners are going to have some seriously healthy, beautiful roses.
Happy gardening.
Happy gardening.